All right, welcome everyone to another CAP competition. We got a good one for you this evening. We have count it, 5 contestants tonight. Everybody knows when you get towards the end of the program, you have to create a project and then you have to create a story on that project. Well, we have 5 contestants tonight that are going to be competing for the chance to perform in our Data Talent Showcase, which is the last Thursday of every month. We'll have some hiring managers there. It's going to be a great event. We all know that it's not enough to walk it or talk it how you talk it. You got to walk it how you walk it. All right? I think I flipped that around. You got to talk it like you talk it in this industry. All right? So we have 5 contestants tonight that will be putting together. They put together their story, and their goal is to entertain us, teach us about their data, and make it interesting for us. All right, so I will introduce the presenters tonight. First up, we have Tensei. Tell us what you're going to be presenting for us tonight, and what did you do before Colaberry?
Thank you. Tonight, I will be presenting about U.S. immigrant visa application. Before Colaberry, I worked for American Embassy as a consular assistant or a visa assistant in Ethiopia.
Gotcha. Okay, awesome. Helen.
Hi, Ali. I am presenting today New York City traffic accident from January to August 2020. And before Colaberry, I grew up in Germany, so I was a dental hygienist in Germany.
Awesome. All right, Salaja, why don't you go ahead and tell us what you're presenting tonight and what you did before Colaberry?
Hi, Hallie. Today I'll be presenting about US Tornado 2000 to 2021, my Power BI project. And before joining Colaberry, I was previously working in IT, but I had a career break. Then I'm resuming it after a few years. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. And Esther, tell us what you're going to be presenting tonight and what you did before Colaberry.
Hi, everyone. My project is about healthcare investment and how it affects hospital stays. And before Colaberry, I used to work as a full-time nurse.
All right. Full-time nurse. I hear you. All right, guys. Well, you heard it here first. It's time to get started. But we know, listen, doing these presentations aren't easy. And I know a lot of you were thinking, hey, will I be able to do this once I get to the stage? Yes, you will. But that doesn't mean it's easy, okay? So they've worked very hard on their presentations. It's not easy, so we're going to lighten the mood by playing a little bit of music first. And then after I finish playing the music, Tensei, you can go ahead and share your screen and get started with your presentation.
Fine light in the beautiful sea, I chose to be happy. You and I, we're like diamonds in the sky. You're a shooting star.
Greetings to you all. My name is Tensei, Power BI developer. The project that I'm going to be presenting tonight is U.S. immigrant visa application between the year 2011 to 2014, focusing on the I-114 immigrant petition for workers visa. The data is sourced from Kaggle, and here is my story. The story is about leveraging the power of data analysis and Power BI to enhance, expedite the process of a U.S. visa. In some instances, the journey to the U.S. can be challenging due to the paperwork and waiting involved. However, we have discovered a way to make things smoother and more equitable for everyone involved through the insight and recommendation derived from data analysis using Power BI. It is like having a knowledgeable company that simplifies the process, and here is the exciting part. The story is not only about a visa, it goes beyond that. So stay with me with this inspiring journey. Imagine a world where dreams of a better life are met with certain challenges. That is exactly what was happening with the US immigrant visa process. Lengthy processing time and backlog cast shadow over aspiration in some cases. Employers were eager to bring in international talents, while visa applicants faced frustration and anxiety. But this challenge was not about only individual. It had a broader impact on economy and the national interests. Yet, as it is often the case, the challenge comes with opportunity to change. This is where our story takes a significant turn, a journey from obstacle to solution through the power of data analysis. Our story focused on the main key performance indicator, KPIs, that utilize DAX formula and analyzing them in different dimensions. To ensure accuracy of the dashboard, we created a data dictionary and established the connection between the master data table and the table calendar. Now, let's begin exploring our data by analyzing the first top chart of the line and stack column and visual. In this visualization, we observe a significant 27.6% increase in the number of visa application per month in 2013 compared to the previous year. Drawing this positive insight, we arrive at a remarkable recommendation, the revolution of AI. AI emerged as an innovation beacon. It gauges applicants' sentiment, predict outcomes, and guide us toward data-driven decision, optimizing efficiency, and enhance the process of fairness. And here is what's exciting. We are not replacing human judgment. We are collaborating with it. With this combination of human and machine wisdom, the visa journey becomes smoother, faster, and more equitable, lightening up a bright future forward for all involved. Next, let's see the analysis of the mapped visual. As we can see in the country of Ethiopia, there was a significant decrease of 60% in the number of applications between 2012 and 2013. But this drop in number promoted us to take action, as obstacles often become a means of stepping stone toward growth and transformation. So we have suggested to stakeholders that they leverage technology and reach out, spreading awareness about job opportunity and the necessary criteria throughout the country in different language. This effort is designed to motivate, empower, and prevent exclusion while fostering diversity throughout the country. Back in 2014, as we look at application by month, and we found something interesting. Approval went up by 8% compared to the previous year. This exciting discovery led us to suggest a revolutionary idea, adopting advanced mobile technology. This improvement eliminated the old challenges of paper-based process, making everything more straightforward. Suddenly, the journey speed up and waiting become distance, memory. With this change, the experience of waiting for a visa process transformed, and it became a driver for a better and ensure equitable treatment for all parties involved. Finally, we look at IT application from different sectors of US economy. We observe a notable 36 decrease in approval rating in 2014. To tackle this issue and support innovator, we propose utilizing advanced and powerful technology. Imagine data analysis and automation teaming up like heroes on a mission. Working together, they enhance the visa approval process, boosting accuracy, efficiency, and ensuring equitable treatment for all parties involved, thereby benefiting all stakeholders. In conclusion, our journey showcases how leveraging data analysis and Power BI enhance and expedite the US visa process. Just as light conquers all darkness and overcome all challenges, by implementing data-driven insight and recommendation, certain challenges faced by individual governments and organizations and stakeholders can be overcome, leading to a bright future for all involved. Thank you, and God bless you.
All right, everybody take yourselves off the mute and give her a woo woo. All right, awesome. Do we have any questions?
I don't have any question, but I have a suggestion here. Tensei, very good job. I like your presentation. It was awesome. But as I got the suggestion from my judge when I was doing the data talent showcase, was not to make it more like all this animation which you put there. Try not to put that there and try to make it simple as that you can, and keep your the report, whatever the dashboard you created, just show that instead of creating all those presentation. That is what they suggested me, because in professional world you are not going to do this. So just make it as simple as you can. That's all the suggestion.
Thank you, Shiny.
You're welcome.
All right, great feedback. And Shiny's been in the field before, so she knows what she's talking about. Any more questions? All right, awesome. Let's keep it moving. All right, next up, we have Helen. Helen is going to be presenting on New York traffic accidents.
Flashing lights, flashing lights.
Hi, everyone. Let me ask you a question. How many of you have been in New York City and found yourself stuck in traffic for hours? It's widely known that New York City challenges with the busiest street and heavy traffic flow. Even if you've never been in New York City, I'm sure you heard about it. Let me ask you another question. How do you think the city can address this ongoing issue and improve transportation efficiency for both residency and visitors? Hi, my name is Helen Dow. I'm a Power BI developer. Welcome to the data-driven journey through the busiest street of New York City. In this presentation, I will explain the data set of New York City traffic accident from January to August 2020. In 2020, New York City experienced a scientific increase motorist death and bicycle injuries, while pedestrian fatality reached a record low. The COVID-19 crisis affected commuting patterns, leading more speed-related death and growth in bicycle accident injuries. Despite reduced city activity, 239 people lost their life in traffic accident. Compared to 2019, 214 people lost their life. The number of car accident deaths nearly returned to the level where the Vision Zero program started in 2014. It was not if it is not the scientific increase pedestrian death, the number of fatality would be over the level where all other categories road users reached a record high number of fatalities. This is my KPIs. For my main KPIs, I use number of crashes, number of fatality, number of injuries, severity rate, and collision rate. For my sub-KPIs, I use crashes per day, fatalities per day, injuries per day, month-over-month crashes, month-over-month fatalities, and month-over-month injuries. This is my data dictionary. This is my table. And I also created calendar table and crash time table. This is my measuring table and a refresh date table. Problem encountered. At the start of my project, I struggled to find suitable data set. After testing different sources, I found one that fits my needs. In the beginning, I invested so many times calculating my project KPIs. Refining them based on feedback extended the timeline for the next project stage. Creating visually appealing GIFs under 5 MB limit took a long time, but I memorized steps for smoother detail-focused transition. This is the positive insight I found on my data set. The positive insight on this was the number of fatality in Staten Island was 6 fatality from January to August 2020, which was approximately 77.78 lower than Brooklyn, which was 27 fatalities. Another positive insight that I found was the lowest number of fatality occurred on Thursday, which was 14 fatalities, which was approximately 57.58% lower than on Saturday, which was 33 fatalities. I also found negative insights. One of the negative insights I found was on Thursday and Friday, which experienced the highest number of crashes per day. The number of crashes increased on Thursday, which was 47 crashes per day, which was approximately 20.51% compared on Sunday, which was 39 crashes per day. The number of crashes increased on Friday, which was 51 crashes per day, which was approximately 30.77% compared to Sunday, which was 39 crashes per day. Another negative insight I found was Brooklyn has the highest number of crashes per day, which was approximately 70 crashes per day, compared to Staten Island, which was 6 crashes per day, which was Brooklyn was approximately 1,066.67% higher than Staten Island. Suggestion and recommendation. My suggestions are: number one, increase enforcement. Due to a 2.4% rise daily accident in February compared to January, this means more police, stricter enforcement, and focus awareness in risky time and areas. Number two, safety road. Invest in Brooklyn roads that was 1,066.67% higher daily crashes than Staten Island. Improve lighting, marking, and safety at intersections. Number three, awareness and education. Better road safety for all. Highlight rules, speeds, and alertness. Focus on daylight Thursday and Friday. Number four, data-driven analysis. Track crash pattern and risky zone. Use resource to address speeding, distractions, and risky road issues. Number five is collaboration. Promote collaboration among government, law enforcement, transport, and community groups. Thank you for listening.
All right, everybody take your cells off of mute and give her a woo, woo.
Woo,
All right, I'm gonna open it up for questions. Anybody have any questions?
Good presentation. Just curiosity, did you do a comparison on incomes between the Staten Island and Brooklyn?
Incomes?
Yeah, like what is the income like in those two areas? Does income have, and I mean, like not for this project, that just out of curiosity, if you could add that on your next presentation, just not a variable that may be a factor.
Yeah, I just use my data set which accident has more, but I did not find any income when I researched. But yeah, I will do that.
Thank you.
All right, any more questions? All right, fantastic. Let's keep it moving. Now, one person that I didn't introduce was Emmanuel. Emmanuel, why don't you tell us what you're going to be presenting tonight and then what you did before Colaberry?
I'm going to be presenting the Medicaid expansion project dashboard. And before Colaberry, I was actually a social worker and involved in research. And so that's why this interests me so much, the topic I'm presenting tonight. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Emmanuel, I'm going to have you present after our next presenter, okay?
All right.
All right, so next up, we have Shalaja.
Good evening, everyone. This is Shalaja Ranganathan. I'm the Senior Power BI Developer. Today, I'll be presenting you my report on US Tornado 2000 to 2021. From my childhood, I was always captivated by the news and stories about these tornadoes. I remember flipping through the newspapers and seeing the images of large buildings and towns which are like torn apart by these tornadoes. And I was wondering about the incredible power of these tornadoes and storms. My curiosity about the impact always stayed with me. They cause damage to property. Most importantly, they cause loss of life. They bring out the emotional trauma. They inflict the significant economic crisis and they provide environmental harm on the affected areas. But what can we do? They are the natural calamity, right? Can we have the power to control them or prevent them? Absolutely no, right? But what can we do? Can we harness the knowledge about the findings and can we use them for effective tornado presentation, tornado preparation for the future arrival? Absolutely. Here, I have used my data set to find the insights so that I can find the pattern of the tornadoes, like which years the tornadoes were peak and the states and the regions where the fatalities were more, so that we can use it for enhanced tornado preparation. Now, these are my KPIs, key performance indicators. I have my main KPI, tornado count, fatalities, injuries, average length, and average width of tornadoes. Mainly, I'm focusing on the first three as they are more useful to talk about this topic. I have my sub KPIs, year-over-year tornado count, year-over-year fatality. That is the changes year-over-year. Now, whenever the tornado count or fatalities or injuries, when they increase year-over-year, that is an alert, right? It should not happen. So I have used the red indicator for it. Whenever the sub-KPIs drop the values, then I have used the green indicator for it. Now, this is my data model. I have my Excel source where I got my tornado data. I have my state region table to add the state dimension to it. I have my calendar table. I have my tornado impact table, which I have created mainly for the waterfall chart for my sub KPIs. Then, more importantly, I have my measures for tornado, which acts like a fact table. This, I have used the complex DAX formulas, and these measures I have used in my KPIs and my sub KPIs. This is my dashboard, and these are the positive and negative insight. Before going to the positive and negative insight, this is my dashboard. As you can see, this is an interactive dashboard. I have my magnitude, which the user can interact, and I have my year, which we can interact and we can see the reports. I have my main KPIs and sub KPIs on the left, and I have my KPIs with the year. This is a line and cluster chart where I have used the drill down and drill up approach, where I can drill down year to day. That is, I can drill down to the lowest granularity year. Then, most importantly, I have the decomposition tree. This is more important because this says me the fatalities, like how much life was affected. So I have the south region, as you can see here, 1,236 fatalities have happened in south region, in total of 1,649. And you can see the top states which got affected here for the year 2000 to 2021. Then I have my tornado impact, which is a waterfall chart. Then I have my region state with KPI. Here I have given a drill through with these two visualization. So whenever I can, if I click on the Midwest, you can see the fatalities corresponding to the Midwest, and you can see how they all are changing here. And then I have my tornado count by state map, where I can click on the location, then I can get my KPIs and sub KPIs for these locations. For Texas, you can see there are 68 fatalities till now, and there were 2,689 tornadoes happening between 2000 to 2021. Now let's talk about the positive insight and negative insight here, and then we will go back to the slide. Okay, so you can see I have to do the drill down, and then in Mississippi, you can see my year-over-year tornado count, fatalities and injuries, they have dropped down 49%, 100%, and 90%. My fatalities is completely zero here. But when we compare it to 2011, you can see that there were tremendous increase, right? There were year-over-year for Mississippi, you can see it is like 135%, 950, and 610%. So in 2012, we can see a positive insight here. Similarly, in 2018, we have another positive insight, especially if you click on any south region, we can see here, let me drill down. So in 2018, if I click on the south region, you can see how the year-over-year tornado count, fatalities and injuries, they are dropping down here. So when we compare it to the previous year, which is the 2017, where all my sub-KPI values are increasing. So these are some of the positive and negative insights. Mainly for the negative insight, my data set, if you see, there is a increase in the tornado count with some fluctuations. We can see here 2004, 2008, 2011, they are the year where we had more tornado count. And especially this 2011, you can see that my fatalities and injuries, they have increased over the decade. Like it is like 1,129% here. So when we compare it to the previous year, 2010. Now, the other thing is, yeah, let's see the pattern, how it is. So we have seen 2004, 2008, 2011, they are the major year of tornado. Now, when we see the pattern here, we can see the tornado count is more in Q2, that is in April, May, June. So this happens for most of the years. So this is one of the findings. So what happens is these are the months we need to be more careful. And again, we have seen here the south region has more fatality increase, 96%. And we have some high risk states here. Similarly, in Midwest region, we can see the fatality is 88%. Again, we have some high risk state here where we have more tornado count. For example, when we click on the states, say Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, we can see that the fatality count, it gets increased. So these can be used for our tornado recommendation purpose. So we know the high risk states, high risk region, and we know the months which we need to be more careful. Now, based on that, we can do the recommendation. Now, let me go back to the slide. So we already discussed about the positive and negative insight here. So let's see about this. We already discussed this in our deployment. Now, knowing about the high risk state and the months, we have to be careful. What we can do, we can enhance the tornado alert for these months, particularly in these states. We can have tornado sirens. We can do it advancedly, like we can have mobile communication, mobile alert, and we can engage with some local authorities, meteorological service, weather service, and FEMA, government service, so that we can come up with an effective tornado response plan. Then we can strengthen the buildings which are prone to these tornadoes. And we can practice evacuation drills. We can conduct an awareness campaign, all that. But why we are doing this? Tornadoes are something which we cannot prevent, but we can have some protection measure for it. Mainly our focus is to mitigate the impact of tornado and to reduce the potential loss of life and property. Thank you so much. Hope you like my presentation.
All right, everybody take yourselves off of mute and give her a woo woo. Woo. All right, questions. All right, no questions. Let's keep it moving. Next up, we have Emmanuel, who's going to be presenting Medicaid expansion. All right, but not without some music. So we'll go ahead and crank that up.
About a week ago, I worked my ass off, but I still can't pay it though. But I got just enough to get off in this club and have me a good time before my time is up. Hey.
Hi everyone, my name is Emmanuel and I'm a Tableau developer. And I have this dashboard to present to you, which is called the Medicaid Expansion Dashboard. There is a story behind this dashboard, and the story was that in 2022, December, I happened to lose a 14-year-old boy who was the son of a very dear friend. And this tragedy could have actually been prevented had it been that the mother was able to participate in the Medicaid expansion program. But because they couldn't afford medication and they couldn't afford counseling, the mom came back from work one night and found the boy, hung up in the ceiling. So, and that actually took a toll on me. It took a toll on me, and as a social worker as well as a reporter, I was looking at how can I help, because the state kept on saying no, no, no every time that people asked them to let the state participate in Medicare. In the Medicaid expansion, they keep on refusing. So I then thought about using my skill to be a data advocate, so that I can present some things to the legislature and let them look at the impact that all the measures I'm going to give them is going to have on the general population in Texas. So I came up with these 3 measures to measure the health status of the population in Texas, to measure the underlying cause of death, and to look at the uninsured population. The reason for this is that these are all health indicators that I was trying to put in, like the underlying cause of death. The underlying cause of death is actually people that have diabetic, people that died as a result of heart attack, people that die as a result of so many diseases. So, what I did was to compare all those groups. I divided the groups into 2. I have the group that has Medicaid expansion, and I have the group that doesn't have Medicaid expansion. I'm talking about the states. So I divided those states into 2 groups: those ones that have Medicaid expansion and those ones that opt not to go for Medicaid expansion. Now, let me share my dashboard with you. Looking at my dashboard and all the KPIs, there are some positive things and negative things that we can actually deduce from this dashboard. For example, in 2019, we have the adopted states, the measure was -7.07, and for non-adopted states, the measure was 8.12%. And all of a sudden in 2020, they actually jumped. And if anybody knows the reason for that, it's because of the COVID epidemic. And what we discover is that 20.45 was reported excellent in health status. Then for adopted states, then 8.85% reported excellent for non-adopted states. There's a big discrepancy between the 2, although both of them are moving in the positive direction. Then again, when we come to the people that reported poor health, you see that in 2019, we have -75% population reporting poor health in adopted states, and we have 70.43% reported poor health in not adopted states. And there is a movement in between these 2, actually, too. The report was, the health status report for the poor people, for the poor status was actually coming down. And as a result of the intervention by the federal government, actually. Then in the other area, we see another positive thing that's happening. We see that between the insurance group too, a lot of people were able to get insurance, and that's because of the Medicaid expansion. I'm talking about nationwide. Because of the Medicaid expansion, a lot of people were able to get insurance because in 2019, we have the number of uninsured was actually 0.40 million in adopted states, and actually in the negative in the non-adopted states. And you can see that in 2020, we have 6.59% in adopted states, and not adopted state was actually 12.73%. That's another positive one right there. But now, when it comes to the negative one, if you look at the underlying cause of death, is a lot of things that happened between 2019 and 2020. In 2019, that was during the COVID time. You look at the spike here. There's a big spike in between the 2. And we all know that it's because of the COVID. But the difference between the 2 is that one state actually fared better than the other. If you look at 2019, we have 2.43% for adopted, and we have 2.4% for non-adopted. Then in 2020, we have 13.22% for adopted and 20.26% for non-adopted. And that's not good enough, So looking at this dashboard, I believe if it's presented to the authorities, they may be able to do something about the healthcare in Texas. So moving forward, I have some suggestions for, I'm sorry, this thing is, the first suggestion I have is that the Medicaid expansion should be considered in all these states because of the economic benefit that is going to be accrued to the state. I mean, can you imagine having a healthy workforce? Can you imagine what the state can recruit in terms of taxes that those people are going to pay? Then the second suggestion is that total health insurance should be made affordable so that more people can get coverage in both adopted and not adopted states. As we can see that in 2020, we have 6.59% in adopted states and 12.73% in not adopted states that are uncovered. Then number 3 suggestion is that non-adopted states should consider more ways for their citizens to access care. The number of uninsured was 12.72% in 2019, and that's higher than the average in the states. So, and the number 4 recommendation was that healthcare, that's healthy lifestyle, should be encouraged for everybody. The insurance companies should actually make sure that healthy lifestyle is one of their priorities. Rather than looking at the disease, let's look at the person and the lifestyle of the people. Thank you. That ends my presentation.
All right, everybody take yourselves off of mute and give them a woo, woo. Woo, woo, woo. All right, any questions before we move on? Questions? All right, good job, Emmanuel. We're gonna keep it moving. We have, last but not least, is Esther talking about healthcare investments and the length of hospital stays.
Drop it for a plan, drop it for me. I'll rent a beach house in Miami. Wake up with no jammies. Lobster tail for dinner. Julio served that scampi. You got it if you want it. Got it if you want it.
All right, how many of us have ever gone to the hospital or your friend, your family, and you had to spend so much time there than you needed to just because they are running tests, they're doing scans, just to figure out what you have or what problem is going on. Now, this is James. He has a back problem. He is ready to go get seen and get checked so that we can figure out what is going on with him. At the same time, we have Mary who just got involved in a car accident, and definitely Mary will need to be scanned. She will need to be screened so that they can figure out what kind of injury she has sustained. Now, how can we make sure that James and Mary both get the care they need in an efficient manner and effectively without spending too much time at the hospital? This brings me to my problem statement. With the increasing cost of healthcare and the population, healthcare facilities and patients are looking for a way to get in care where the patient wants to spend less time in the hospital to decrease the hospital costs, and also the hospitals want to take care of as many patients as possible to increase the revenue. According to statistics, the average length of stay in 2017 was slightly less than 8 days. And my data is from OECD organizations, which are countries which come together with the common goal of growing the economy by sharing different policies. Welcome, my name is Esther Karanja. I'm a Power BI developer at Colaberry Inc. And the project I'm going to present is healthcare investment and length of hospital stay. Now we are gonna go to the dashboard that I created, and my data was from 1990 to 2017. And as you can see in the dashboard, I have a slicer which is slicing with the year. And then my major investments here are MRI units, CT scanners, and hospital beds. And then the sub KPIs are year over year for hospital stay, MRI units, CT scanners, and hospital beds. And also we have the main KPIs, which are just the average days spent in the hospital, which is hospital stay, average MRI units investment, CT scanner investment, and hospital beds. My first chart here is hospital stay by year. And here it just compares how long people had to stay in the hospital each year. And the second one, it compares hospital stay by region. So it compares different regions and how many days people had to spend in each hospital. And then we have hospital stay by location. This is a scatter plot. And with the scatter plot, the sides of the bubble represent the hospital stay year over year. And then the color represents how many beds. So the darker the color, the more the beds. And then we have the year-over-year changes, which is just basically the year-over-year changes for hospital stay, MRI units, CT scanners, and hospital beds. Now, I'll bring to your attention that the hospital stay, when there is a decrease, as you can see here, the indicator turns green, because that is a good thing. You don't want to stay in the hospital longer than you have to. And then when there's an increase, then it changes to red, which is more than 0 days, it is gonna change to red. And then the last chart is hospital stay, hospital beds by region. And with this map, you can be able to drill down to specific locations that you want to view. Now, I'm gonna focus my presentation on 3 major years that were showing significant changes. So we have 1995, 1996, and 1997. So as you can see here, in 1995, the hospital stay was 9.03. So yeah, in 1995, the hospital stay was 9.03 days. And then in 1996, the hospital stay was 12.54 days. And then in 1997, the hospital stay was 8.26. Now, as we can see, in 1996, there was major investments. And these major investments happened in East Asia. So there was increase in investment on MRI units, CT scanners, and hospital beds. Now, let's go to the East Asia and just see it in a more simpler way. So here we'll drill down the East Asia to specific locations. We have Japan and Korea. And here we can see that in 1995, the hospital stay in East Asia was 11 days. And then in 1996, the hospital days increased to 21.85 days. So that led to that region increasing their MRI units. You see that's a big increase, CT scanners and hospital beds. And after the increase, we see the following year, the number of days in the hospital decreased significantly to 11 days. Now let's look at the general picture. Here we see that from the year 2003 to the year 2018, there was a plateau. So that means that there was no major decrease in the hospital stay. So what can be done to decrease this number of days that the people are spending in the hospital? And it was averaging between 6.47 days to 7.15 days. So it was in between there. So we need to figure out how to decrease those number of days so we don't have people spending so many days at the hospital. And we can focus majorly on Southwest Asia, specifically Turkey. We see Turkey has been able to maintain its hospital stay to less than 4.46 days. And as you click on each year, you can see that there's always a positive investment on MRI units, CT scanners, and hospital beds. So we can definitely come to a conclusion that Turkey has been investing more in the MRI units, CT scanners, and hospital beds to keep their number of days at the hospital lower. Now let's go back to my PowerPoint and I'll give you my suggestions, what suggestions I came up from all that. As we saw from the dashboard, there was an increase in investment in the year 1996. We had 178% increase in MRI units, 133% increase in CT scanners, and 178% increase in hospital beds, which brought the hospital stay to decrease by 15% in the following year, which was 1997. Now, for the plateau that we have seen too, we have people who have conditions or procedures that take longer days at the hospital. So the hospitals can figure out how to come with protocols or care pathways or use multidisciplinary approaches to ensure that timely and efficient patient management is observed. The other thing is that the countries that are experiencing more stays in the hospital can benchmark or share ideas with Turkey. As we have seen, Turkey has been able to maintain its average stay at 4.46. So they can talk to Turkey since they have come together as countries which want to develop economically and figure out which ways to work so they can bring the number of hospital stays down. That is the end. I'm open for any questions.
All right, everybody take yourselves off of mute and give her a woo, 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 woo. All right, we got our poll coming up next. We got 25% of the vote. Everybody get your vote in. Top 3 move on. All right, here are the results. We got Shalaja in first place, followed by Esther. And then Helen, who are going to move on to our Data Talent Showcase. And then we have Tensei and Emmanuel. All right, fantastic, guys. Emmanuel, tell us what it was like preparing for this presentation.
Oh, yeah, it's a bit nerve-wracking. I wasn't really prepared. But yeah, this will encourage me to do more. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Tensei, what was this presentation like? Preparing for this presentation for you?
It was not easy actually to combine all the data set, the visualization, the story, everything. It was not easy, but thanks God, I made it.
Yeah, you did your thing. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, Helen, what was it like for you preparing for this presentation?
It was a lot, but I have a good team for my internship, and they was always ready when I want to present or practice. They was there to help me. So
all right, fantastic, fantastic. Esther, what was it like preparing for this presentation?
Oh my goodness, Ali, this was the most nerve-wracking experience. And I can't believe I'm still on it. But it's worth it.
All right, fantastic. Salaja, what was it like?
Yeah, it was very good. Like, it gave me confidence that I can present. And yeah, I got a bit tensed in the middle, but it was very good. Thanks to my friends, thanks to my mentor. Mena is there and she is like encouraging me always. Thank you so much, my friends, Shiny, Muna, Nitya, all, Parimala, and Gayatri, everyone. Thanks.
Awesome, awesome.
Thank you, Ali.
Yeah, fantastic. Listen, guys, it's not easy, and Colaberry will keep on pushing you to the end, okay? Because that's what you need to break through this cycle. That's what you need to continue to move forward, okay? So we're going to continue to ask you to push yourselves beyond your comfort levels. But after you do it, you'll feel much better, right? After you do it, you'll feel much better because you'll have a sense of accomplishment, okay? And so we just keep on working on that and we keep on building on that. and we get better as time goes on, okay? Having a growth mindset means that, hey, we have to work. We have to continue to work to get better. And as long as you understand that these situations are more like improving, okay? Doesn't mean we have to be there. We don't have to be there yet, okay? But every day you have continuous improvement, and that's what's going to shape you out to be the employee or the worker in this field that you need to be. So congratulations to everyone who presented tonight. You guys did a great job. You guys have come a long way. All right, this is not a small feat. So pat yourselves on the back. You have to look at the big accomplishments as well as the small accomplishments. So pat yourself on the back for going through this journey. I know that people were impressed with your presentations. Of course, we can get better, but that's what this process is all about, is continuous improvement, okay? So congratulations to everyone tonight. Our top 3 are gonna be going and moving on to the Data Talent Showcase at the end of the month, but this has been another great CAP competition, and I hope that you guys will join us. It is the first Wednesday of every month. We are here, same time, same place. All right, we are out. You guys have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you next time.
Yo, remember back on the bully when cats used to harmonize like, yo, my men and my women, don't forget about the dean. This is not the most the king, yo. It's about a thing, yo. Feel real good with your hands in the air and lick 2 shots in the atmosphere.